Just gonna give this nice oven a nice little cleanup before I get started. I added a little vinegar, finish it off with a little bit of alcohol. Give that shine. Alrighty. Now we're ready to go. We're ready to rock. Our stove is clean. I even want to give this a nice look too. It's already clean, but it's important to have it clean. Cleaner. So I'm going to have this pan heating up while I cut my veggies. I'm going to be doing 2 recipes, some tofu scramble and a little bit of lentil soup. What I have available. And then this one as well. I just put it all the way to the low setting so I don't have to do anything else. So I'm just going to wash my veg real quick. And the lentils. Now that I'm washing, I will be using a net for the lentils. We'll give them a good rinse. And that way everything's good. So now I just need to cut up my veggies. For the tofu scramble, it's going to be that. Got celery, some potato, and onion for our lentils. Just going to cut the celery, remove the things I don't want. And I love to cook based on what needs to be used up in my refrigerator. So I saw this lettuce looking pretty sad. I don't want that. It looks really sad. And I thought to myself, I gotta use up this lettuce. I gotta use up this celery because if I don't use it up, it's going to go bad. I'm gonna move the screen right now. Give me a second. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just cut this. Okay, so the celery, we're gonna cut real quick. I'm gonna add it to the pot. And we want to hear that sizzle. That's an indication that the pan is nice and hot. Okay, let's see. Everything looks good. I've just got some potatoes here, and I want them about small dice. It's kind of medium, but a little bit on the smaller side. I'm going to just drop that in there. Okay. I guess I'll just use this one. And then I'll use the other onion for the tofu scramble. Okay. All right, so we got celery, onion, potatoes, the basic. I got some garlic salt, a little bit on it. Why not? Okay, so a little onion for the tofu scramble. All right, so as I can see, it looks a little darker here, so I'm going to use this side. I'm not going to use too much onion. It's going to be too overpowering. And I'm just going to remove the ugly parts. Maybe even remove a little bit of this. Like that. And then keep it away from me. Because I am a chump when it comes to onions. They make me want to cry all the time. Give this a little bit of a toss. Okay. And drop a few veggies. Why not? So I'm going to give my onion a nice little chop. Nice medium dice, maybe. A little smaller. If we can achieve that. If we can't, then it's fine. Okay. I just want to keep it together. All right. Okay. Now we're just going to chop it. Anything that I left off. This is perfect. Okay, these are all the veggies I'm going to be cutting today. So this is going to be for our tofu scramble. We got that going over here. Crank up the heat for this. While I wait for the heat to just rise up a little bit more, I'm going to give this a nice toss. And then I'm going to add the lentils. I love lentils, they're my favorite. They're such a great legume. They're great. They taste good. They're just the best. Now I've got to get some water so I can add to the pot. I need something that's kind of big that can hold a lot of water. The blender is definitely amazing. So I'm going to get some water for my lentils. This should be hot already. We're going to add the onion. Okay. We got some seasonings here for our lentils. All we need to do is just flatten it out and spread it up. Spread out a bit. And then allow it to just grill and get some color to it. All right, here we have some water. I'm going to add it in here. All the way to the very top. I like a lot of water. Never go wrong with a little bit of broth and soupy lentils. It's so good. I don't understand why a lot of people like them dry. I don't. I never ate them like that. My mom always cooked them with water, like a lot of soup. So I'm going to add some adobo seasoning, all-purpose adobo seasoning, a bay leaf, a nice little handful of cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and a nice little handful of cumin seeds. So cumin seeds, coriander seeds. You don't have to toast them, just add them in there, whatever. They will cook with the heat and the boiling. It will allow the juices and the oils to infuse the broth. It'll be all right. Okay, now we're just gonna add a little bit of salt on the onions. I love how the onions smell. They smell super good. Next up is to get my tofu ready. I'm using sprouted tofu, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna get the water out. I go to my sink because I got some dirt. Not a lot, but just a few. So the onions are nice and sauteed. They've got some color. I'm ready to add my tofu. I'm just gonna crumble it down. These are like the go-to recipes that I love to use when I am meal prepping. They're fantastic because I love to eat the tofu scramble with like rice and beans, or I can eat it with the lentils, or I can eat it with tacos, whatever. I can eat it in a sandwich. Super yummy. I'm gonna combine it together, and right away I'm gonna add my seasonings. Here I have black salt, turmeric. I have chipotle powder, smoked paprika, and black pepper, and some garlic powder. Okay, all that good stuff that we add. We already know the vegan deal. Most vegans that cook vegan or they cook plant-based, they already know this recipe, but I guess if they're new to veganism, that's what you will add. But I think everybody has their own recipe, their own version. But I think it's pretty simple. Salt, turmeric, and black salt. Black pepper is the go-to flavor. So At this point, you can just turn off the heat and prep it and stuff, or you can let it get like nice and crispy at the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna allow it to just stay here for just a couple of minutes, not too far, because then it sticks too much and it gets too dark. So I don't want that. Here I'm gonna raise it the heat. I'm gonna raise the temperature all the way to the top, and then I got my sandals on. Okay, my feet hurt. Relax. I'm gonna hide the sandals. You can still see them. Just kidding. Quit judging. Just kidding. So I gotta allow this to cook. So while we do that, I gotta do another project, which is completely fine. I'm gonna use this thing. Okay. My salt was on it and I didn't want to use it. But I'm gonna have to change to a ladle at some point. Okay, so this is ready. I'm gonna turn off the heat. And right away, right now, I'm going to use my wooden paddle to try to remove any bits that are stuck on the bottom of the pan. Okay? Because it gets stuck. Ooh, the chipotle powder just makes everything so aromatic. It just smells super delicious. I just recently discovered that. Like I bought chipotle powder from Walmart. It was pretty cheap and affordable. And I added it on the tofu scramble, and like the smell right now, it smells very smoky. It smells really good. That's a really good like secret ingredient to make it taste really smoky and delicious. So I'm gonna prep this and put it away. And I'm just prepping some food and chilling, documenting my prepping. I've gotten some technical difficulties with my camera, so I'm going to be doing lives for the next few days because my camera is messed up. So just bear with me. I hope I can eventually fix my phone and I can start filming again. But for now, I'm going to just be doing lives and just chilling and showing you what I cook for, every day. Tomorrow I'll have another live, so check out the live and we'll see. We'll go from there. I'm going to just put this in a glass container and I am done with this recipe. We're going to start on another recipe in just a moment. And then I got my lentil soup right here. It just needs to cook. And lentil soup doesn't take too long. It should take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Around there. It shouldn't take that long. Okay. And I'm going to wash this. And this is a very small amount. I usually go through this amount probably in 2 days if I'm being conservative. But 1 day would be the correct answer. It smells amazing. So we'll just set that aside, allow it to cool down, and that's our first dish that is ready for our prep. Our next dish our next recipe that we're doing is this lentil soup, but we gotta wait for it to be ready. So I'm gonna do another recipe and see. We'll go from there. Yes, but it's okay. Got my lovely roommate who just came in. brought her groceries in. So she's gonna do the thing. Just don't you mind her. I'm actually gonna go to my hometown, Long Beach, tomorrow. So I'm probably not gonna go too heavy on the prepping because I don't want things to spoil. I just want these two recipes, and that's pretty much it. I'll probably make some rice. Let's just wash my dishes. I'm just gonna wash these dishes while I wait for the lentils. And I'll invite you in. Yeah, yeah. Hmm? Sure, I'll take one. Cool, thanks. So one of my very good tricks is to clean as I go. So while I wait for my food, I'll wash the dishes and clean up. So I think this is very important to learn if you're a beginner cook. right, sorry guys. My roommate had to come in and she came with her groceries. She had to put them away, so had to wait for that. You know what I mean? That's the thing about living with other people. We have to go through that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put away my dishes while I wait for the lentil soup. And just tell you about my day. I'll tell you about fun facts and really cool things. I just heard that there was this really fancy restaurant, Michelin star restaurant or something, that just went out of business, which is kind of funny. They went out of it was it was a restaurant that went vegan. It was a 5 Michelin star restaurant, and they went vegan, and then they recently returned back to like meat, and they were calling it like regenerative meat or something, regenerative restaurant. And anyways, long story short, that went bad. Excuse me. They went out of business. I think it was excuse me again. It was just saw the video. It was really cool. It was a really cool video. And well, anyways, just saw it. Yeah, it was like it was the vegan turned regenerative restaurant Sage has closed, and and it was because they were a vegan restaurant, and then they decided to become regenerative. I don't even know what that means, guys, but they just recently went out of business. They went closed. So that's the recent updates. Another thing that I have been hearing in the plant-based kingdom news is that Raw brand is not vegan anymore. Which I heard that about a week ago. That's probably kind of like old news, but that's something I've heard. There's a few things that I've heard as well in the vegan community. And on my next live, I think I'm gonna have like notes down and written. That way I remember like all the news and we'll just talk about it and chit chat away. But I'm just waiting for these lentils to be done. The tofu scramble is super easy, so it's already done. And I don't want to cook anymore because, like I said, I'm going to be going to Long Beach. I was born and raised in Long Beach, California, and I'm going to be going there tomorrow with my family, and I'm just going to hang out over there. So I'm pretty excited about it. So, but I'm excited about that. But I don't want to prep too much. But I want to hang out, and I wasn't able to upload a video today, so I decided to just hang out with you and just upload a live. And I'm gonna be doing this more often. I'm going to be uploading lives, especially when I can't upload video. I'm just gonna get up here and do a live with you because I'm always cooking. I always make recipes. So I always got a lot to share. So I always want to make. So from now on, I'm going to be making lives, especially when I can't upload videos. So, excuse me. I'm gonna give this a nice little stir, but I didn't want to make too much recipes today because I am gonna go to Long Beach for a few days. So I'll be back probably in 2 days or something. So I don't want to cook. I don't want to meal prep and let my food spoil. So that's why I wanted to. I wanted to make just a few recipes, but my goal is to hang out and make more lives because I just love documenting my recipes. It's just a form of sharing to the community, sharing to the plant-based and vegan community, and also just hanging out and also documenting my recipes because I make so much recipes. I cook every single day. So imagine how many recipes I make in a year. That's probably thousands of recipes. So I love to document them, but I can't really document them all the time because making videos it takes a lot of time and effort. So to film all the recipes that I make, we'll never be able to do it. You know what I mean? No one, not one content. So my goal now this year is to just live it up. So I'm gonna start living it up, making live streams. So I hope you like them. I'm gonna give it a stir, and as I get better, we'll be able to like talk about news. We'll be able to like talk about topics and different things. So yeah. Well, while we wait for the lentils, one thing I want to talk about is Mr. Dr. McDougall, which recently he passed away. So that's why I want to talk about him because I wasn't able to talk about him when he passed away because I just didn't think about like making a video about it. I just don't want to be getting. I was not prepared for that. But I do study him a lot, and I think he's a really amazing doctor. So I have two of his books that I want to share on my lives, and I just want to start talking about some of the things that he talks about, some of the things he mentions in the book. One of the books that I've already finished and I already read is The Start Solution. And this book is popular. A lot of people read it. A lot of people have read it and they've lost a lot of weight on it. I think I heard I want to say her name is Plentiful Kiki. She lost a lot of weight promoting this book. So and there's like a bunch of other people. I think there's a Potato Girl or I don't know who, but a lot of people have read this book, followed it, and have lost weight. I lose weight when I follow this consistently, but I'm a person that has not committed to this that well. I haven't been able to commit to it, to be honest. But I love talking about it and reading about it and you know, just doing it. Like I'm not trying to pretend that I'm like this person that is perfect and like like in this throne and I'm anybody, but I'm not. I don't ever want to behave like that. I'm not perfect. I do other things. So I just want to hang out and hang out with other plant-based people and build a community with my channel and just talk about the things that I find interesting. But I'm not here to judge anybody or to, like, let's just say, make people feel like they need to change for being, supporting certain things. Like, some people feel like if they support being plant-based or vegan, they have to, like, not drink and be this holy person, this perfect person. And I don't think that anybody's saying like that, but I feel like it does happen. But anyways, let's read a little bit about this book and just celebrate Mr. McDougal. He was such a cool dude. I looked at some of his videos. I'm gonna make a separate video, like, not living it, but a separate video on Dr. McDougal and some of his videos that I find super interesting, because McDougal used to be like Dr. McDougal. He used to be kind of like a celebrity in his time. He was making like videos that were like in mainstream, and that's actually really cool because it's like wet here. Well, like I said, there was one video that I saw that he was like teaching people how to swap. Like, when you go to restaurants, Dr. McDougal was teaching you how to, like, get like a healthy pizza, or like to get a to eat in restaurants, basically. But it was like a very popular commercial, and it seemed to me that Dr. McDougal was very popular in his time, but wasn't allowed to be super popular. You get what I'm saying, okay? Well, anyway, a few details that I love talking about. One of the things that I've heard about him from other doctors is that he's one of the best doctors in the world, and is never and they're never really talked about in the medical, like, industry, or like when doctors learn about, you know about medicine and about healing, they're not mentioned. Like Dr. Manoogle and like a lot of other doctors, they're not mentioned in the medical, like, processes, which I think is really sad, because very important to know that nutrition, it plays a huge in health. It plays a huge role in healing, and also preventing diabetes, preventing heart disease, preventing all these chronic diseases in the first place. So that's one thing. Give me 1 second. All right, so we have our lentils cooking up, but here I have this book that I just want to read about. I hope I don't get copyrighted for it. But let's read a few things about it while we wait for our lentils. Ooh, spicy. It talks a lot about starch, and I look at starch kind of like carbohydrates. So that's what he means, carbohydrates. He talks about how it's very important to fuel up with carbohydrates, starches. He says starches particular, but I think it's carbohydrates what he really means. And this makes perfect because I went to nutrition class, and in nutrition class, I learned that carbohydrates is fuel. It's the thing that we use to fuel basically our muscles, our power. It's basically our gasoline. There is no other, there's nothing else. Like, that's what happens when you discover the body. We learn that carbohydrates are what powers us. It's like electricity for us. So that's really cool. But look at this awesome detail here. And and in the future I'll be making slides and stuff about this. But this is really cool. It's here. The diet of the wealthy ancients. Did you know that ancient Egyptians had plaque in their arteries, the rich ones, and they have documented this in the medical literature, and it shows that the Egyptians that were rich, they were the elites and the pharaohs, they all had plaquing of the arteries, and the poor that lived with them did not because they ate a lot of grains, bread. They really didn't eat any meat, any oils. It was a very expensive ingredient. So, so I'm gonna go ahead and just point the book to you. So the poor was very healthy, and the poor outlived the kings and the pharaohs and the queens because they ate a lot of grains and bread and healthy stuff and fruits and vegetables depending on what was available. But let's check out what Mr. McDougall has to say about that in his own words. Let's read just a little bit. So it says a high protein diet has suggested that reports showing heart disease in Egyptian mummies prove that there are largely vegetarian diets responsible for putting them in their graves. I love the way Mr. McDougall talks. He just talks how it goes. And I love that because I do that too. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, bruh. If it's a lie, it's a lie. If it's the truth, it's the freaking truth. Like, what's the deal? You know what I mean? What's wrong with that? The truth, you know what I mean? But let's keep reading. An April 2011 report in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. And mind you, I'm not that smart, okay? So let's bear with me here. But if I'm not that smart and I understand this, why isn't anybody understanding this? That's a good question, right? Cardiovascular images used CT scans to show that 20 out of 44 Egyptian mummies whose cardiovascular system could be viewed had evidence of atherosclerosis, which is the blackening of the artery. I have to say blackening of the artery because I can never pronounce that, but I did a good job. So basically, what he's saying is a lot of these Egyptians had the blackening of the heart arteries. They were having heart disease, and it existed because of their diet. You can clearly see that in many examinations. The same kind of calcification from the plaque of the arteries can frequently be seen in the CT scans of the modern Americans and Europeans. Of course. Of course. See, the numbers don't lie. The science doesn't lie. It always says the same thing. Let's skip and see what else it's saying. I see something very nice here. Let's see what it says. The child's mother likely ate. Well, let's go back over here. Yeah, the evidence is okay. We're gonna go back all the way over here. Okay, we'll read the whole paragraph. Ready? You would think that people in such early times, around 3,500 years ago, would have been reasonably help sorry, reasonably healthy with no fast food or tobacco and plenty of exercise. Yet the evidence shows that those selected to be embalmed as mummies ate a diet far richer than that of their less wealthy contemporaries. In addition to the plaquing of the arteries, these wealthy ancient Egyptians showed signs of other diseases we associate with modern diets, such as obesity, mental disease, and gallstones. Spina bifida was found in a mummified child. Since the spinal abnormalities, typically of the spinal bifida, results from insufficient fluid in the wound, the child's mother likely ate a diet heavy in animal food and lacking in the folate-rich starches, fruits, and vegetables. Very straightforward. I love how doctors are very scientific, and when doctors step in the plant-based community, they show you how logic everything is very logic. It's very simple. Eat your fruits and vegetables, healthy carbohydrates, and you'll live a healthy life. You'll avoid heart disease and diabetes, high cholesterol, and all the major diseases. Let's check out more papers. I'm not going to take too long reading this. We can stay here forever reading this, and I don't want to bore you with that, but I absolutely love and respect these doctors. I love and respect Dr. Dr. McDougall, Dr. Neil Barnard, very good guy. Dr. Dean Ornish is an amazing doctor. I haven't read any of his books, but I definitely want to get my hands on one of their books. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh, I love this chapter part. This one right here is amazing. This is a good story. So I'll read it to you. The Warrior's Diet. Give me a second, guys. I was drinking some water and I got stuck in my throat. Okay, guys, let's go for it. I love this story about the barley men. It's called the Warrior Diet. Throughout history, men and women who ate diets based on grains, vegetables, and fruits have accomplished history's greatest feats. The ancient conqueror of Europe and Asia, including the armies of Alexander the Great, 356 323 BC, and Genghis Khan, AD 1062 1227, who conquered the known Western world during their respective times, consumed diets based on starches. Caesar's Leo complained when they had too much meat in their diet and preferred to do their fighting on grains. It's just a lighter, more nutritious, powerful ingredient to eat. It's more light. It's just amazing. I just, I can definitely say it. Like when I run with just rice and like veggies, dude, I can run forever. If I ate something like fatty, I've been plant based for a while, so I don't eat that. But if I eat like something fatty, like let's just say a vegan burger, I might be able to run, but not as fast as like eating rice. Let's keep going just a little bit longer. The remains of 60 Roman gladiators who fought and died more than 1800 years ago in Ephesus in Western Turkey. Sorry, guys. In Western Turkey were recently found in a 200 square foot plot along the road that led from the city center to the temple of Artemis. Analyzed of their bones for calcium, strontium, and zinc showed that the world's fiercest fighters followed an essentially vegan diet. In contemporary accounts, the gladiators are sometimes referred to as hero or the barley men, which is an amazing story. A lot of people know about these guys. Since barley provided the bulk of the nutrients, their remarkably strong muscles and bones, the strength and endurance to compete in the ultimate sport of life and death. Keep in mind that humans used to be like slaves or owned by other people, especially like rich people, the elites, of course, the kings and the queens. They will own humans, and they discovered that if they fed humans a diet of grains and just some vegetables and whatnot, they would be in a tip top shape to fight and to win. So when they ever wanted their slaves to win, they fed them a grain vegetarian diet because they knew that they would perform the best that way. We already know that. We've already been knowing that for years. But people still want to argue about the plant-based diet and whatnot. It just makes absolutely no sense, guys. Makes no sense. But speaking of what makes sense, our lentils are almost done. Let's check it out. And there we go. Our lentils are finished. And I'm just going to turn off the heat. Now I'm just going to back up the camera. And I'm just going to put the pan on because the lid on, and I'm going to allow it to cool down completely before I add it to the refrigerator. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this live, and I hope to see you in the lives. See you guys next time. So we have the lentils ready, and we have the tofu scramble ready. Okay, just to finish it off, tofu scramble's ready. Our lentil soup is ready, and that is it, friends. The prep is done. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.